Hello again, and welcome to episode 9. Is this episode 9?
It is episode 9.
Episode 9 of Smarks Without Attitude. Today, myself, Reese, and my buddy Harry. Say hello, Harry.
Hello, Reese. You okay?
I'm all good, thank you. Today, we are going to bring you a bit of a double header because some of us have been away over the last few weeks and very busy. So haven't been able to do episodes as regularly, and obviously in this world of WWE that we find ourselves in, wrestling is never ending. So in this busy 3-week period, that's 2 pay-per-views that we've yet to cover, as well as several big news stories that we may or may not mention. Neville leaving. As well as other things. But yeah, we are going to cover Hell in a Cell, which was a SmackDown pay-per-view, yep. Mm-hmm. And we're going to cover TLC, which was a Raw pay-per-view. So, yes, where do we start? We start with Hell in a Cell. So, as always, can I ask one question?
Yeah, go on.
Was there a TLC pre-show?
Yes, of course.
Oh, wow, you've got 2 pre-shows to go through.
Luckily, they've got the same sponsor.
What have they? Well, yeah, they must sell these things as doubles now, surely, because there's so many fucking pay-per-views.
Well, pay-per-views are dead. They wholly rely on the network for people to watch these shows. And
I know, but
pay-per-views, just,
we still call them pay-per-views, don't we? That's just what happens. They still call them pay-per-views on Raw.
What would you call them, though? I mean, you do technically pay to view it because you pay a network subscription.
Yeah, but doesn't you technically pay for cable, so therefore Raw is pay-per-view?
Ooh.
In Canada, I think Raw and SmackDown's on Rogers, and Rogers isn't like a free cable thing. You either have Rogers or you don't. So
it's like Raw and SmackDown over is on Sky.
Yeah,
or
so
Virgin, which is not free.
So it's pay-per-view.
Yeah. So what would you call a Sunday event? Mega event?
I would call them WWE 999 Network Specials Mega.
That does not roll off the tongue.
It doesn't, but that's what I mean. That's why they keep calling them pay-per-views. Anyway, shall we begin?
Let's do it. Yep, let's do it.
Okay, Hell in a Cell, pre-show, go.
Oh, Jesus. The first thing we hear is a CM Punk chant, which is, gets corresponding boos. It's, it's still the same thing from... How far back is it from Chicago when they started, bollocking people for doing this?
Well, it was Stephanie and Heyman that did that, wasn't it?
I think so. Well, they started doing it much later. That was in the first year, do you remember? But they started, when fans started turning on the idea of people chanting CM Punk. It's just old there, isn't it? We get a backstage promo with Bryan and Ty Dillinger. Ty believed that he should have been in the triple threat match, or he should be a triple threat match between himself, AJ and Corbin for the US title, since he beats Corbin on SmackDown, I think. Bryan agrees, which means that match was now turned into a triple threat, obviously.
Why? I don't get this at all.
Gives Ty something.
But what did Ty do on SmackDown previous to this event to deserve that?
He shouted 10 a lot.
Did he beat Corbin?
I said he beat Corbin, which is why he was arguing with Bryan. Well, not arguing, he was just suggesting to Bryan, maybe I should be in this match and we make it into a triple
fair enough, I guess, but it seemed a bit odd to me.
So I've put booking matches at the last minute. Well done, SmackDown. And little did I know the following month we'd have, well, not last minute, but 2 days before the show.
I know, but that wasn't a booking thing. That was everyone's got the mumps thing.
That's true. Something to tie us to TLC later on. There is only 2 matches on this card that have Hell in a Cell stipulations.
Yeah.
Which seems a bit strange. TLC has exactly the same thing where not only is it just one match that has a TLC stipulation, it's not really a TLC match, but we'll get to that. We get to our social media cringe section, which is with Charlotte Flair.
All right.
The first question is basically, Flair can be the first woman to win every available women's title in WWE history, which sounds impressive, until you actually remember that includes the Divas title. There's nothing much to it, minus a little bit towards the end where she says Flairs are always better than the Harts. Somewhere Bret Hart is giving this a 4 out of 10. Now, going to be not No, I'm not going to be controversial. Fuck it. Your main event, or pre-show main event, is presented by Susan G. Komen is a massive scam. Do not donate to it. Research who you give your money to towards cancer charities.
So you are being controversial.
I am being, well... fucking read it out.
Aren't they very well known to bully other breast cancer charities? And in some cases, they've put some of them out of business, and that business obviously is the business of charity. They've sued people, haven't they?
And only a small portion of their donations actually goes towards cancer research.
Doesn't the CEO earn something ridiculous like $500,000 a year of salary?
Yes. I was actually meaning to look at that, but I completely forgot.
That figure might be wrong, but I know it's something ridiculous.
It's higher than most charities, but yeah, just to put a bit of a damper in it. But your pre-show main event is the Hype Bros versus Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, a.k.a. world's second greatest tag team.
I see.
They're teasing a Hype Bros breakup on the pre-show, which is a bit weird.
This just sounds awful. Minus Benjamin, I like the fact that he's back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. At least Gable's got something. It's also the return of the close angles due to an empty arena, so I presume there was something wrong with the gates again. That,
or they're just really bad at timing these events now.
Yeah, well, it's the second time in like 3 shows, isn't it? So. A few lockups and wrestling holds to start. Hype Bros with the advantage to begin. Notice there's a hard tag between Mojo and Zach, obviously building up for this breakup, which is never going to happen. Zach and Chad share a mid-5, which is weird. Benjamin gets a nice pop. I liked Benjamin, although he couldn't talk a decade ago. He calls a loud spot, which leads to a safe pin exchange between him and Zach. Crowd politely clap when Shelton hits a spine buster. Shelton with an attempted superplex. Zach rebounds with a great missile dropkick. Hot tag to Mojo, who takes out Gable to booze. Gable goes for a mid-rope crossbody, gets caught and hit with a tilt-a-whirl for a 2. Gable returns with a roll-up and then an overhead belly-to-belly, followed by a moonsault for just a 2. Double team, I've put something, and I've described it as Shelton holds Mojo while Gable hits a mid-rope arm drop. I think it was supposed to be like an elbow drop, but no idea. Then rolls into the corner to stop Zach interfering for a 2. Christ, it's fucking sloppy. I've watched it 3 times to see if it has a name, and I don't know what this move is. Mojo hypes up a football tackle on Shelton, takes out Chad. Attempted hype rider is stopped. Benjamin with a something for a 2, which Mojo makes the save for. And the ending sees Chad and Shelton with the safe modified Doomsday device for the 3. It's a decent tag team match with some very bad camera work, sloppy spots, but otherwise it's decent. There's a few more promos after this, nothing else, and the pre-show concludes with the Cell coming down for the tag team match.
Oh yeah, which leads us to the main card. And we won't dwell too much on this main card because we do have another fucking pay-per-view to get through. But yeah, so first up, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso, just in case you're wondering what their names are. And I'll be honest, I have no fucking way of telling who's who, by the way.
Oh, I'm glad you've said that. It's so, at least with the face paint mirrored, it was at least a little bit easier before, but now it's like,
I'm going to try. Well, they defeated the New Day, who was Big E and Xavier Woods in this case, because Kofi is injured, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Hell in a Cell tag team match for the SmackDown tag titles went 22 minutes. I'm just going to say that this match was a bit brutal, considering it's a curtain jerker for the main card. I know it's a Hell in a Cell, so obviously it should be brutal. But there was moments in this match where I genuinely thought, "Ooh, that's a bit violent." You know, I don't know if it's because the New Day are generally not that violent, or I suppose they did have their kind of heelish mannerisms, but you know, they're kind of a happy-go-lucky bunch. And yeah, this was a bit, you know, there's bits in it when they pin up what's his name in the corner with the kendo sticks, and
that's right, yeah.
You know, Xavier Woods is quite horrible to him, and that bit when they hang Xavier Woods by his hands on the ring post, that was kind of odd. But yeah, I actually quite enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good.
I thought it did lead well to like the Usos and their current gimmick, where they are just, you know, street toughs. You know, they'll just do anything to win. And to be honest, always going back to the Mick Foley Undertaker Hell in a Cell match, which is the most violent, I think, out of all the Hell in a Cell matches. This was an excellent tag team match. Don't get me wrong, absolutely brilliant. I just think the problem with this Hell in a Cell being a PG related product, you get the only weapon spots you really get are kendo sticks, a gong at some point, and a few trumpets. And I didn't think there was anything particularly violent in it. I just thought it was a really well booked tag team match that did utilise the cage quite well. And I'm presuming that this is the blow off for this feud, surely by now.
Well, who else do they have on SmackDown to do it?
What, as other teams for the Usos to face?
Yeah, because the Bludgeon Brothers haven't properly debuted yet, have they?
The knockoff War Machine.
Well, yeah, but
that is pretty much it. Well, obviously we had our two tag teams from before. Fashion Police. Keep hearing rumblings that maybe they'll get the push.
I'm assuming that the Fashion Police are just going to get squashed for the Bludgeon Brothers.
Oh, that'd be fucking horrible.
I assume that's which
is exactly what they'll do.
Isn't that the point of the whole Fashion Files, to build up to whoever 2B is?
I thought it was for filler, to give them something to do. Vince apparently loves it, according to Fandango, but who knows? But I thought this was an excellent tag team match.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really good. Few too many kendo stick spots, but great match nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree. Right, we move on to the next match, which was Randy Orton and Rusev, and this one didn't go 30 seconds. This one went 11 minutes and 40 seconds, but it was the same outcome, and Randy Orton has defeated Rusev again. This was okay. I have no real interest in this feud. And how long did this pay-per-view go in the end? Was it like 3.5 hours?
3.5 hours, which I saw. I split the pre-show in the morning and then watched the main show in the evening, and it was like, fucking hell, this show is so long.
With a pay-per-view this length, this is, in hindsight, these are the kind of matches where I have no interest in, and I just kind of think, well, you could have cut 12 minutes from this just by putting this TV match clearly back on telly. So, yeah.
To be honest, I thought this was a really good match. I was actually quite shocked. It was like a bit of a potato factory. Guys were stiff as fuck with each other, but that's Rusev style. And
I think that's more a case of them just probably working with each other well, or liking working with each other. I think...
Yeah, I think it was a much better showcase than the 30-second, match of the year from one of the last shows. No, I was impressed with this match. Again, it was a bit annoying to see Orton getting the win. I mean, obviously he's had a bit of a rough year considering he's won the Royal Rumble and a main event at WrestleMania, yet he still managed to have a really bad year.
Wasn't he third from the end at WrestleMania?
It's still a main event according to them.
Main event is the match that ends the show and nothing else.
I know, CM Punk, I know that, but as long as he gets the main event payday, that's fine. But no, I thought it was
the draw is WrestleMania. The Rock is not the draw. Me and Dwayne are friends. Don't worry about it.
Phil, it's all right. You're gonna work with the Undertaker.
Hey, pal, you ready to come back to work?
Give him a Z-Pack. He'll be fine.
Are we done with Orton and Rusev? Yep,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Right, well, next fucking bit. My notes. I'm going back to my notes that obviously I wrote 2 or 3 weeks ago. Oh, fucking hell. They've made Kurt Angle dress up as the fucking Colonel now. Jesus fucking wept. And Colonel Sanders is in WWE 2K18? Is that right?
Right. Alright, I'm going to be honest. I haven't looked for it, but I don't think he is. I think it's... in WWE 2K18, you can edit wrestlers' appearance or costumes. So it is possible that you can make Angle wear a white suit, give him hair, give him a goatee.
Right.
And have him wrestle. So, no, there isn't a Colonel Sanders, as far as I'm aware. But KFC does have trophies and... What's the Xbox equivalent?
Achievements.
Achievements that are based on... it's a no smoking campaign and KFC, which is fucking cheap.
Right. Do you reckon it's in their contracts that they have to shill KFC for them?
Yeah, of course they do. They're advertising.
No, but I mean, specifically, because if I'm Kurt Angle and Vince says, right, you're the one dressing up as fucking Colonel Sanders, I'm saying no.
Yeah, but he probably gets a bonus.
Maybe, yeah. And for every drumstick sold during the pay-per-view, you get 15 cents or something.
Gets a fillet tower meal.
Good meal. Good meal.
It is a good meal.
KFC is just pound for pound the best, if you ask me. But
it is, yeah.
These adverts hurt my brain, to be honest.
It's a bit bad to be if you're still paying for pay-per-view and you get adverts for fucking KFC, which the whole point of this is to not have this.
People still apparently do buy the pay-per-view for like $49.95 or whatever it is. It baffles me this day and age that they still do it.
If you don't have internet access, what the fuck are you going to do?
Who doesn't have internet?
I don't know.
Who has a pay-per-view supplier and not an internet connection?
I don't know. That's the WWE mindset. You don't have to talk down to people and say like, "Oh, guys, I don't know why you're paying $50 a month. You can pay $9.99 for all this content that you're not going to watch on the network."
But they did do that during the build to the network. They did say, "Why pay $49.95 when you can just pay $9.99 or whatever?"
And it's like, well, it's not available in our country, you fuckers.
Well, yeah, we didn't get it for a while, and when we did get it, we paid $9.99 in pounds, which is about fucking $14. So fuck you, America.
Fuck yeah. We love you, America. Don't turn off.
Good night, America. There'll be no encore.
Anyway.
Right, yeah, and then these backstage segments were finished off with a terrible Daniel Bryan and Ty Dillinger.
That's the one we saw on the pre-show.
What, the Yes 10-10 thing?
Yes.
Christ, It was dreadful. They repeated it.
Yeah. Because obviously they realise people like you don't watch the pre-show and they're probably like scratching your heads going, why is this a triple threat match?
Right.
I was told on this poorly booked SmackDown that it was going to be a singles match.
Right, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, Ty Dillinger. Styles defending his United States Championship.
Universal, you fucking wish.
I wish. I do fucking wish.
I know, everyone wishes.
Styles defending... Well, not defending his US title because Corbin beat him and Dillinger in 19 minutes 20 seconds in a match that I would describe as an incredibly shit first 10 minutes, maybe longer, and the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of action was actually pretty entertaining and quite a good triple threat match. And yeah, I mean for the last 4 or 5 minutes, the first 10, 12 minutes was your typical, chuck you out the ring, we have a singles match, chuck you out the ring, we have a singles match approach, which is shit.
You've got exactly what I've got. I said it was a pretty good match, although it had your pitfalls of a triple threat. But a better idea than Corbin being in the singles match.
There was one spot which, even now when I think about it, does still make me giggle. You know when Corbin kicks AJ out of the ring?
Yep.
Absolutely waffles him. Like, really kicks him square in the chest and he goes fucking flying. It was brilliant.
I've got something else on here. I can't... Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It was a decent match, I thought. It just, again, problems with all triple threat matches that aren't booked properly. It's literally a case of, as you say, get someone out of the ring, have a singles match, then switch partners.
Yeah. So Corbin's your new US title champion.
I was going to say, do you think Vince regrets spending all that money on Corbin's new entrance?
No, don't. What money do they spend though? They've got like a band on retainer, right? So they probably just try and get as much out of them as possible.
I know, but I was thinking before this match started, I thought Corbin's gone from he's going to be future WWE champion to lol, you and Sandown. There's a trivia question.
He might even still be champion one of these days. You don't really know. You're
jinxing it towards that Royal Rumble win.
Well, I've been saying all year he's going to win the Rumble, so let's just see.
Put a bet on it now. You'll get loads, and then we can finally get that SoundCloud account. What are we on there?
Flair against Natalya. Charlotte Flair defeated Natalya via disqualification, unfortunately.
Fuck you, Detroit. You don't get a finish.
Yeah, fuck you, Detroit. There is no encore. SmackDown Women's Championship, 12 minutes, 15 seconds. I've got here that this is the battle of the unoriginal entrance themes. But I do really like Charlotte's entrance theme, actually. I think it's quite good. It makes me... it's one of those things where I would listen to it if I had it. But yeah, I thought this was okay. Natalya playing heel is alright, though she really does egg up the old facials when she does it. So, she really plays the cartoon heel. If she had a moustache, she would twirl it.
Bear in mind that she has to
very
sell
dastardly.
to the cheaps. She has to sell to the cheaps.
I know. Yeah, odd finish, but I'm assuming it means that there's a bigger payoff to the feud for Flair further down the line, and she'll have a big win. God knows what. I mean, what would it be? Rumble, maybe?
I was going to say, because with Survivor Series, that story's now on hold because everyone's now mates for Raw versus SmackDown. I've just put a slow and heatless match. It told a story and sets up for the future, but the action started sloppy, got slow, and only picked up at the very end.
Cool. I mean, it was alright, but, again, it's one of your typical, we're on the network, so, fuck proper booking and proper finishes, so let's just do a shitty DQ finish.
It's only going to make things worse in the long run when people stop going to the shows because it's like nothing happens. What we got next? Fashion Files race.
Yeah, it's always. I just have here that it's always quite funny comedy. I quite enjoy them. I enjoyed the Tooth Fairy and the allergic to sleeves things on the wall. That was quite fun.
Oh, God. Bald, yeah. The bald was the best bit. I thought the sketch itself was actually quite flat, which was a shame, but it's obviously leading up towards Pulp Fiction, which...
I've got here that the ending is definitely flat.
Yeah. The only funny thing post this was listening to Wrestling Observer Radio, and poor Brian and Dave did not have a clue what they were going on about this gold briefcase. They obviously watch so much wrestling they have no idea what the fuck this means. Which I thought was quite funny.
They also don't really have much of a clue about anything sometimes. So
him and they and Vince share some very strange similarities. Pals, what's this gold briefcase? Is it a title? Oh no, it doesn't say title. What the fuck? What's the phrase they don't like using? Belt. Oh, so title is title fine. Or
title's the belt. Title is the term you're supposed to use. It's like that thing when Owens ever the talker when there's a fan filmed footage of him at a house show and he's walking down with I think it's when he was the US champion, and someone says, like, one of the kids in the front row says, "Oh, give me your belt," and he just turns around and goes, "It's called a title." Sort of probably trolling Vince, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it is.
That was Fashion Files was fine. We move on to Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura singles match, WWE title. Talking about fucking belts and titles, this belt or title is starting to mean jack fucking shit.
Are you done with the Mahal experiment?
Been done for ages. You know what? I don't hold it against him. I honestly don't hold it against him. I just hold it against the people that think this is still a good idea. But yeah, Jinder beat Nakamura sort of clean. 12 minutes, 10 seconds. It wasn't clean for the first 10 minutes, and then the 2 minutes where it was one-on-one with no interruptions, he did manage a clean pinfall. So, there you go. Where this leaves Nakamura, who the fuck knows? I honestly don't think he gives too much of a shit, so therefore I don't think we should. And yeah, it was just there.
Yeah, I've put the same thing. Match was okay. I feel like Nakamura, however, is getting more damage the longer this feud continues. Who else will be next to fall for the rupees?
Well, he's going to fall to Brock, and then I imagine AJ's going to fall to him.
I've heard it's AJ at the Rumble, and then I would put safe money to say maybe Cena at WrestleMania.
Well, there's talk that they're trying to get a special guest referee for his match with Brock. So if it was to be Cena, as rumoured, then there is the birth of an angle there, isn't there?
Yes, they've said it'd be someone who has ties to him, if I remember. But who the fuck is that?
Ties to who?
Cena, I think.
Oh, well, there you go. So, yeah, we've got... Oh, well, that's that match. I'm finished with that, if you are.
Yeah, let's move on to another fucking bad
match.
I'm
just going to... my notes for Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler are, I do not care. Harry, take it away.
Oh, here we go. Ziggler's entrance is weird. Also completely forgot this match was happening. Action is flat. There's the CM Punk chants again. Then the crowd goes eerily silent. Ziggler lands a sleeper. I think the crowd forgets that this is one of Ziggler's finishers. Roode escapes with a back suplex. Roode with a nice middle rope neck breaker for a 2. An attempted glorious DDT reversed for a pin for a 2. An element DDT by Ziggler also lands a 2. Crowd is fucking murdered, then breaks out into a Little Caesar chant. Second sleeper, Ziggler hits a shit famouser, which is pretty much a bulldog for a 2. Missed super kick into a spinebuster. Glorious DDT reversed into a pin. Several reverse pins later. Rude wins with a roll up with the tights. Ziggler immediately hits the zigzag. This match was utter shit. Crowd was dead as the night. Ziggler looks like he doesn't give a fuck. Match was slow and it's still not over.
Right.
I mean the feud is still going.
Yeah, well put. There you go. And there's that match. And we move on to the main event of Hell in a Cell. Kevin Owens against Shane McMahon in a Falls Count Anywhere Hell in a Cell match, which means the door is definitely getting opened.
Yep.
I mean, in this day and age, main event Hell in a Cell matches, I'd quite like to see a stat for this, but main event Hell in a Cell matches, surely at least 80% of them, the door opens and there's outside action.
And with this match in particular, one of the participants, you are basically paying to see him fall off something at some point, so they might as well just left the fucking door open.
Well, yeah. That's the thing as well. Open the door. I can't. Open the door. No, Shane, I can't. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, that's just... Why not?
I know, why? It's no disqualification. It's not a cage match. Oh, is it? Well, actually, if it was a cage match, they would have let him out. Like, okay, you can go out.
Yeah, really weird. This was fun.
It was, yeah. It was. Both Hell in a Cell matches were actually really good on this pay-per-view. And considering that Shane is not a performer, like, by trade, he's still a businessman, he knows what to do. It was a really good match, I thought. Told a good story, had some great spots.
Yeah.
I did like it when Shane's boys corpsed when Owen started taunting him. And there's a bit later on where I think they give the finger when old Zayn at the end. They swear on camera, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. There were some nice little spots. The pop-up powerbomb that Shane turned into an armbar I thought was quite fun.
Yes, I got that. Looked good. Owens escaped and then relocked on the apron.
Yeah, there was a coast-to-coast really early on in the match. Well, early on in hindsight, because this went 40 fucking minutes. 39 minutes this match went.
I literally said there's nearly 45 minutes left once the promo package ends. That's fucking scary.
Yeah, a rope break spot, which was wrong. The referee fucked that up. Or they fucked it up while planning the match, because even Graves said that it was wrong call and there's no rope breaks in... no disqualification. Wasn't there no disqualification falls count anywhere match a few years ago, or quite a while ago, when on the outside of the ring someone touched the rope and the thing was... I think it was a submission. Someone had like a big submission in. They got to the rope from outside the ring and it was broken then, and everyone went mad because that was bullshit as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and there's been occasions in no disqualification matches where people let go of holds when people get to the ropes, and it's like, what the fuck, what is he going to do? Go to a 5 count and then what? Disqualify you in a no disqualification match? It's just, again, as you say, it's either stupid booking by the agents or stupid booking by the people involved. They should know better for no matches.
Yeah, so they go out the cell. Owens goes up the cell. He bottles jumping off the cell, which is obviously leading to what happens. Up Shane goes. They battle on top of the cell. I've just got a thing here. They must really enforce the roof now, because they fucking jump around up there.
Yeah, it's... I remember hearing about this from... again, going back to Undertaker and Mick Foley's match. The top of that cell was not built for people to have matches on the top of it.
Now they are.
That's why when they start walking around, you always notice the thing is starting to buckle when they do. But they've reinforced it to the point where it's like, it will only break if it's gimmicked for certain panels, but they're never going to do spots like that again.
Which Hell in a Cell? It might have been the Taker Foley one, when as they get up on it, you can actually see and hear the screws and pins holding it all together, dropping onto the mat.
Yeah. It's just before Mick gets thrown off the first time, because they're literally walking through and you can hear Lawler go, "Oh, that's a broke through," and you can see it starting to buckle. And obviously there's the spot where the choke slam through the cell, which was not supposed to... It was supposed to do like it did in this match, where he would bounce off the thing, but instead it just buckled through and it nearly killed him.
Well, yeah, got a tooth through his nose.
And it concussed him and knocked him out for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, so there was a pop-up powerbomb up there, and then they kind of sort of go down the side of the cell, and Owens takes the mid-cage bump, which was pretty good. He really fucking throws himself down.
Yeah, fair play to him. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not from the top, and it is gimmick the table, but fair fucks to him. It is a
It was at this
drop.
point when you noticed the really, really obvious holes that they put in the side of the cage for people to climb up on.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're aware that that spot's going to be available, and
yeah.
Whilst though they are athletes, they're not like Seth. Do you remember that match with him and Dean, where they have a race up the cage and Seth clears it in like 5 seconds, and Dean's like, "Wait." It's like 20 seconds later, he only catches up. So I think they've made provisions for that.
Yeah, so Owens goes through the table, and Shane sees his opportunity to do his big bump, which is falling to his near death. Sami Zayn turns heel and helps his longtime friend and buddy and mortal enemy, Kevin Owens. I thought that Sami Zayn sold the kind of confused, oh, what have I done kind of look in his face, and Shane McMahon sold being dead quite well, as did Owens. And I thought it was an interesting end. 39 minutes is probably a bit too long, but there was a lot of selling involved in this match, and the ending was basically just, oh my god, Shane's dead, Owens is dead, what's Zayn done? Zayn drags him over, everyone's still dead, and then Owens kind of goes, huh? And then it was finished. And yeah, that was Hell in a Cell. What did you think of the overall event?
It was far too long of a show. It only really had a few dull moments, and obviously the best matches on this show was the Hell in a Cell matches. But special mention to the Triple Threat US title match and the Orton Rusev match, which I really liked. But the worst match on this show was easily Ziggler and Rude.
Yeah, and the tag match was quite good.
Yeah, that's part of the first Hell in a Cell match. But the other two main title matches, which I'm guessing I mean the women's title and the WWE title, were both underwhelming. And in the case of Mahal, his feud with Nakamura appears to be doing more harm to his opponent than intended.
I think this run is doing a lot of harm to the belt, but whatever.
It's eerily similar to bloody the Universal title, where the longer Brock holds it, and the inevitable conclusion will be him losing against Roman at WrestleMania, every single person in front of him is now going to have problems with their booking. But Mahal, it's just like, we don't know what the end result's going to be. So how many more people are going to suffer the same fate as, say, Nakamura and Orton?
No, I think that's fair enough. So, okay, Hell in a Cell is done. And we move to Tables, Ladders, Chairs 2017, which, as mentioned previously, only had one TLC match, which wasn't a real TLC match because there was
nothing to grab.
There was nothing to use the ladders for. It was essentially a hardcore match.
It's a no disqualification match.
It was a goofy late 90s hardcore match with the weapons already available.
And a dumpster truck, but we'll get to that.
And a 5-on-3 advantage for some unknown reason. Well, no, the reason is that they kept saying, "Oh, we could take on more," and they go, "Okay."
No, it's like, "Oh, we can beat the Shield," and it's like, silly fools. Only meningitis can beat the Shield.
Yeah, the Mumps, they could beat the Shield. But 5 grown men, no.
Braun Strowman, Kane, no.
Right, I am going to admit now that in my jet lag state, I've only watched 3 matches on this card, and that being Asuka, Emma, Finn and AJ, and Shield and Miz, Kane and Braun, and by the Shield I mean Dean, Seth, and Kurt Angle. So yeah, you lead the way, Maestro.
Oh my god! Do you want me to go through pre-show?
Yep, that's your bit.
Here we go.
Do it.
Pre-show, folks. So much hype about Angle's shock return to the ring. Bear in mind that this was only announced on the Friday. I think we should just briefly go through this. The fact that fair fucks to the WWE, they had a really bad, run of luck where they've lost Roman, they've lost... Oh, God, who was the other guy? Who's the other guy?
Well, technically they've lost Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt, and Roman Reigns. Bo Dallas, obviously, is not a big deal to WWE, but Bray Wyatt being ill robbed us of seeing him in drag, so,
It's Bray in drag versus the Great Pumpkin. We missed that. Hopefully we'll get it next year.
The guys who put together the wrestle crap things must be really gutted that this didn't happen.
Maybe one day. But I was going to say, fair fucks to the WWE. They did try and push out all the stops to make up for it. A bit of a disappointment as well, despite the fact that it's in Minneapolis. No Brock. Obviously, fuck you, Minneapolis. We don't like you. We'll go for on back to pre-show. There's an interview with The Miz, who looks like he's stolen one of Will Ospreay's hoodies. Says the spotlight from his baby's gender announcement has been stolen from Angle's return. He hypes up his partners and promises to batter Angle. The close-up of the IC belt makes it look absolutely tattered and cheap as fuck. You would not see it, but there's like black on the corners and stuff. It desperately needs a clean, or like, to put the gold bits of it onto like a new belt strap. Interview with Emma. They keep hyping Asuka's undefeated streak, which isn't strictly true, as she lost the Battle Royal back in NXT. Lol. Says she's sick of hearing about Asuka and blah, 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 blah. Shame they didn't refer to a decent NXT belt, which she had, which she also lost, but oh well. We have a backstage segment with Angle and Jason Jordan, who's sadly not a ninja still. Elias interferes and says Prince's spirit has taken him over and he needs to perform musically. We all know Prince's spirit, however, is in the Velveteen Dream back on NXT. Angle says lets Elias perform, and Jordan says thanks for interrupting. Elias mentions that at least he's on pay-per-view, and I've put, I wonder where this is leading, lol. We then cut back to Renee, who says she actually likes Elias's performances, which is bad, because it's like, I thought he was a heel. Ain't you supposed to hate it? Drew Gulak comes out and complains that he can't do his PowerPoint presentation, which was actually something scheduled for the pay-per-view prior to this. He uses a megaphone and the audience barely react to him. Renee throws to Charlie Caruso. Gulak still talks and it makes Pete and Atunga corpse in the background, which is funny. Our social media lounge cringe is with Mickey, my god, she's so old, James, who looks stunning, to be brutally honest. Nothing significant about this whatsoever. She says that she's not even the oldest woman on the roster, and that half the male roster is actually older than her, and calls it completely childish, and that's fair fucks, because the booking is, it's been petty, and it's like a duller version of the Piggy James storyline. Do you remember that? Load of bollocks. She says she'll probably FaceTime her baby after winning the title, which was very nice. Do you know who her husband is?
Who?
Mickey James.
Who her husband is?
Yeah.
Give me a clue.
TNA wrestler, British.
Magnus.
Really? Yes.
That's weird.
It's weird.
Well played, Magnus.
I know, fair fucks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the WWE have never picked him up, because he's like a big lad, isn't he?
Is he a good wrestler?
He won their world title.
Is he a good wrestler?
Is he a good wrestler? He's alright. Your pre-show main event, which is again presented by Susan G. Komen, is a scam, is Alicia Crazy Fox against Sasha Will She Botch Banks.
Oh, Sasha Banks, you just can't get a break.
Who is she pissed off? I guess it's someone is a fan in the background and just didn't get their autograph at an airport.
Yeah, or they're weird perverts according to her, but whatever.
Again, as we said in one of the previous episodes, if you want to get a wrestler's autograph, pay for it. Don't do it at an airport, or go to a British indie show.
I suppose meet and greets are pretty good for that.
Yeah, do that. Just don't talk to people in public. Consider wrestlers like the British public, or Londoners. Don't talk to them in public, because they'll just completely ignore you or look like you're mental.
Or stand in front of them for longer than 10 seconds.
Exactly that.
Or walk too slowly on the pavement when walking towards the train station.
Exactly that. See, look, I have my Londoner spirit up north, where it's like no one moves quick enough.
Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner.
Pie mash, governor.
Yeah.
Bobbins.
Do what?
Do what?
Okay, is that the pre-show then?
No, I'll go for this match quick.
There's more pre-show. Christ.
Yeah, I've got this match to go through. Do you want me to just get to the end?
No, do your thing.
All right, okay. Cole spends most of Sasha's entrance hyping up Angle's return. That's a lull. There's an immediate botch. A cat fight sees Alicia try to escape the ring, but she gets caught on the bottom rope and then stumbles outside. I'm actually quite shocked at how heated this match is. Fox pulls faces and screams, which draws boos. Fucking spot here for Botchamania. Fox pulls off a great looking tilt-a-whirl slam on the outside and then immediately goes for a pin. The commentators are still holding their laughter when the action comes back inside the ring. Sasha plays face in peril. Fox is decent and talks an excellent game, but everything good every good thing she does something sloppy or basic as fuck.
Mm.
A great pair of Northern Light suplexes for a 2. Booker compares Fox to the missing link, which makes Cole and Corey laugh out loud. I'd have to Google that. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Question.
Yeah, go on.
When did Booker T become unfucking bearable on commentary?
Put this? I don't know. He doesn't.
Oh my god! I don't know if it was like just. I don't know if it was the main event when Angle was getting hurt, right? So when Angle was being looked at, and it was like, if you put yourself in the match, you're gonna get hurt, and Angle knows. And it was just like, what? Shut the fuck. There was a moment where he talks for like a 45-second straight period, and he's just gibberish, and it's bullshit. And it's kind of like, I don't know if like Vince is in the thing going, be a heel, pal. He's just a dickhead, and it just like Graves is. I think Graves gets really frustrated when he has to commentate next to him because he's kind of like, well, no, Booker. He had to put himself in the match. He had to save this match. He had to do it. And it's like,
it's so weird because Corey's supposed to be heel commentator. He's supposed to be heel.
That's what I mean. And there's
like,
quite
no,
a lot.
Booker's like, no, I'm going into business for myself. I don't understand what's going on.
There's a lot of times when Corey is actually the face. It's really weird.
It's like he's having to bring logic, and we'll get to the main event where he's like, he just basically trolls everyone. And Cole's like having none of it, going like, for God's sake, Booker, he's in the match because there was no one else available. He's like, oh, you should have known better. Anyway, fucking really nasty bump with Fox. Oh no, sorry. Nasty bump where Fox is kicked off for a pin attempt and crashes through the ropes to the outside. A great camera angle that makes it look absolutely horrible. A quick exchange sees Fox attempt a scissor kick, miss, nail an uppercut, but Banks connects with a backstabber and a bank statement for a tap out at exactly 11 minutes. It's a pretty good women's match made better by Fox's insane ramblings and a hot as fuck crowd. Little did I know the crowd would be hot for this match and then subsequently die for the rest of the pay-per-view.
So the crowd were hot for this match?
Yes, I put it down. They were good. I guess in your notes you've put the crowd as a bit shit.
No, not really. Didn't really notice much, to be honest. Well, I suppose there's your answer. I didn't notice them, so yeah.
There you go. Our final segment sees Dean and Seth in Shield shirts, which is hilarious because obviously the circumstances of this match has changed dramatically. They're asked how excited they are for Angle being in the match. Dean says Angle should know how dangerous the match will be. Otunga tries to get the duo's game plan, which Seth says he's not giving away on the pre-show. Even Seth knows the pre-show's complete bollocks.
Fair.
And they don't have their Raw Tag Team Championships, which is a boo.
Yeah, I thought that when they came out for the match later. No belts.
Yeah. Again, there's only 2 titles defended on this show, I think. Is it 2?
Probably.
Or is it 1?
It was the women's and the
Cruiserweight.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That's what I forget. Yeah, well, and that's your pre-show, folks.
Interesting.
No,
well,
it's not.
No. Well, it is. It's kind of interesting because I don't watch it, so it's all new to me. Okay, first match on the card was one of the matches I watched. And a very confusing match it was.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Asuka faced Emma, who won the right to participate in this match by... Was it like a 4-way she won, or a 5-way?
She won a multi-lady match. Which begs the question, why would... Considering Asuka's reputation in NXT and the fact that Emma's already lost to her in NXT, why would anyone want to volunteer to face this woman? Surely if they were going to play, like, her as such a strong character, they'd be like, I don't want to fucking face Asuka. I don't want to get my head kicked in.
Yeah, a bit weird. But a lot of parts of this match were weird. So yeah, it started the show. I'll be honest with you, I thought that was odd. Starting the show with a debut like this. They've built it up for ages. It was sort of, kind of flat. After like 5 minutes of watching this match, I kind of thought, wait, it's not going to be a squash. And I'm not like a huge fan of squash matches. I'm just not. Sometimes I think they're quite damaging in a lot of ways. But I honestly just wonder what even if it wasn't a squash, there was a lot of moments in this match when Emma was just wailing on her. And she sold for loads. It went. What was the length of this match?
9 minutes 25 seconds.
So 9 minutes 25 seconds. It isn't actually that long a match, but I mean that's double what I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying because it's like, as much as you say, squash matches, they can be bad. They do have a place and a purpose.
well, debuting stars that they constantly describe as dominant and a wrecking force, and oh my god, she's going to come in and oh, women of Raw, you're on thin ice and notice, and okay, Emma's just given her a pretty tough match, and you kind of just think, well, by logic, really, she isn't that much of a threat, to be honest. I mean, not being funny, but she's great, and I do enjoy watching her, but that wasn't the Asuka from NXT we watched.
No. Had they used this match and said, oh, we've heard rumblings that Asuka's not recovered from, fully from her injury, and they used, where she aimed for the collarbone, then I would have understood, like, the whole point of it, because it's like, oh, Emma looks quite strong, and she looks devious. But instead it was just like, Emma, as you say, just wailed on her for so much of this match, and then she just, she wins at the end. I mean, Asuka does. But was it to make Emma look better? Because they've shit on her for the last, 3 years? What was the point of this match? As you say, Asuka did not look impressive in this. And I've literally put in there, I'm actually worried they're going to ruin her, like they've ruined so many. And then Raw happened, and it was exactly the same fucking thing.
At this rate, yeah, they are. They are going to ruin her. It's really weird. One thing I did think was the illnesses in this match. Did this mean that this had to go nearly 10 minutes because they were trying to fill time?
Well, this pay-per-view was 3 hours long, so
3 hours and 2 minutes, and that includes a 35-minute main event, and I think AJ and Finn went 20 minutes, 90 minutes,
18. And you had 3 gigs.
Yeah,
but no, as you said, this match could have afforded to have been 5 minutes, and it could have just been a squash, and it would have been great. But it just wasn't. And I mean, if they do something with Emma, fair fucks, build someone up as at least, trying to level peg against the undefeated, unstoppable monster that's Asuka. But this match, it just puts, absolute fear in what they're going to do with her booking.
Yeah, it was an odd match. And, well, Asuka got the win, so I suppose she's off to a start. But I don't think it's going to end that well for her. Actually, it actually makes how they do, because they will end her streak. It just will happen. How do they do it? I'm quite interested to see.
I'd say Charlotte, honestly.
I'm gonna think maybe fucking heel turn Bailey. There you go. There's my. That's my.
Although Asuka did beat Bailey twice clean, so yeah. But can Bailey be? Oh, then Sammy's heel, so he's proven that he could, even though people were like, he can't do heel. But anyway, yeah, no, this match I thought this was a pretty good match. I was shocked that Emma got as much offence as she did, but, fair fucks. Still worried that they're going to ruin her.
They will ruin her, but oh well, we move on.
I was going to say, a little backstage segment with our, Miz, The Bar, and Kane and Braun. Did you notice that? I know we keep spotting little patches on Sheamus and Cesaro's jackets. Did you notice?
Are you gonna mention the Pickle Rick patch?
No, even a more fucking niche thing. Sheamus has a Mighty Boosh patch.
Does he?
He has the little, the black polo thing. One of Noel's drawings.
The Cockney. Oh, that. Okay, yeah.
I think it might even be the Mighty Boosh. He's got that on his jacket. It looks exactly either that or it looks exactly like it. I didn't know he had pickle. Oh, they are Mighty Boosh fans because he tweeted about it, didn't he?
He's Irish, right? So yeah, he's definitely seen it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does have a Pickle Rick patch as well.
It's so funny that they obviously watch Dragon Ball Z. They watch Rick and Morty. It's just
they're pretty cool guys, right?
What's that?
They're pretty cool guys.
Yeah. Fucking hell, yeah. Give them all title run. Well, Sheamus has had fucking Harmony, so. You got your first Elias gig here, Reese. What did you think of this one?
I haven't watched it, mate. I literally fast forwarded through what I deemed to be a waste of my time.
I'll quickly do it. Elias starts strumming. Someone throws celery at him, and it's Jason Jordan, which is probably gets his biggest pop since going solo, and we find out he's Angle's kid.
What a face move, though, to throw stuff at someone.
He's throwing celery at him. Oh, they love it, Margot. He's throwing greenery at him.
Can't stand this Jason Jordan forced face thing, but yeah.
Oh God. And to make matters worse, that's one of 3.
Right.
Anyway, moving on.
Is
Yeah,
3 on the main card?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you when we get to them.
Right. Next, please.
Our next match is our first of 205 live matches, which is a tag team match of the Brian Kendrick and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Or is it?
Gallagher.
I've always thought Gallagher, like Oasis, but apparently it's Gallagher.
They always pronounce it as Gallagher. So
like
yeah,
Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh,
Bournemouth.
Moscow.
Moscow. They're taking on Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. So at least these guys get a payday. And also Nigel McGuinness is on pay-per-view for his debut, which is a bit fucking strange.
Is it his WWE debut?
WWE pay-per-view debut. We're not including a tournament in 205 Live.
Does Vince know who Nigel McGuinness is?
Probably not.
Wasn't he a former Ring of Honor World Champion?
Yes, and he would have got the massive push in TNA, but he got, I think he got injured quickly, and then it all went downhill with, what the fuck did he get? Did he get hepatitis from bleeding? Or getting a blade job? I think he's in a documentary or something.
It's his stuff with Bryan Danielson on YouTube is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a great guy.
Stiff as fuck, Jesus, yeah.
They had really high hopes for him. I mean, he went to TNA. It was Desmond Wolfe. He beat Angle in his first match. Yeah, that was back in 2008 or something. Anyway, to this tag team match, it's stereotypical 205 Live action, but it's at least quick. Gallagher is wrestling in a sleeveless jacket and trousers, the utter heel. And then the action slows down once Jack and Brian double team on Rich Swann, keeping him stuck in the corner. There's a hot tag to Alexander, who clatters Gallagher with a springboard elbow for a 2. There's a lovely exchange which sees Kendrick lock the captain's hook on Alexander, with Swann hitting a Phoenix Splash to break it up. Alexander hits or nails the Lombard check on Kendrick for a sexy pin at 3, and it really is a sexy pin. At exactly 8 minutes. It's a decent tag team match, notably quiet from the crowd, some great big spots. Kendrick looked the most impressive with crisp suplexes.
Cool. Can't go wrong with a sexy pin.
Oh, it was. He like fucking straddled him, like one leg up in the air, like, proper crawled over him.
Wow. I mean, it doesn't beat Edge at the One Night Only on.
Oh, jeez, what the
Francine?
What, I'm gonna get you pregnant thing. It's Tommy Dreamer's wife.
Francine.
Yeah.
Christ, he basically penetrates her as he does the freak out. But yeah, okay, that sounds interesting match. I'm glad that they actually got some pay-per-view time.
Yeah, considering that. I mean, this is what Raw brand should be, at least showcasing some of 205 Live, and the tag team match was decent. Did you watch this next match?
What is it?
It's the Raw Women's Championship, which is Mickey. I was going to repeat the same joke then, but I won't. Mickey James versus Alexa Bliss.
No.
I'll go for it. The story is lazy as fuck, just reiterating the same point.
You're old.
You're old.
I'm younger than you, therefore you're old.
What is a biscuit butt?
I've got no idea, but...
Americans, please clear us up. What is a biscuit butt?
Wait, biscuits in America are like those... they're like those scone things that you get in fried chicken shops in the Deep South.
So what is a biscuit butt?
Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy looks nice. It's like thick broth as opposed to what we call gravy.
No, let's just get one thing fucking straight. English gravy is the best gravy.
England gravy.
Gravy, chips in gravy is a northern thing, and it's a delicious thing.
It is fucking good. It is lovely.
A roast dinner with just heaps of gravy. Yes, please.
I thought you were going to say roast dinner with chips and gravy. I thought, that's fucking wrong. Go back.
It is wrong, but you'd eat it.
Of course, yeah. Fuck it. Let's go for this. Mickey out wrestles. Sorry. I'm trying to get through because I'm aware of how long this episode's going to be.
Fuck it, go.
Yeah. Mickey out wrestles Alexa to start, grabs the hair, gets a 5 count and spanks her. I'm having edited out Mania 21 flashbacks. Did you know they edited out Mania 21? Or do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? Mania 21, Mickey James versus Trish Stratus.
Yeah. We're talking about the really, really obvious licking the hand after grabbing her pussy.
Oh yeah, it's edited out entirely on the network.
Oh, I'll tell you what, crazy Mickey James was quite fit, I thought.
She was fantastic.
When she had the really, mental, crazy gimmick. I
Yeah,
really
she
enjoyed
was
it. Yeah.
she was Tricia Stalker, even though she looked exactly like Lita because she was injured at the time. But no, it just reminded me of that. Bliss is now in charge, although the action has slowed down. Crowd is quiet and chanting something which I think involves biscuits. Is that biscuit butt, maybe? I don't know. I still don't know what the fuck it is. The world's safest Hurricanrana by James. Even Booker notes it lacks speed. And Corey Gold tried to cover her. Fucking Booker, you troll.
Yeah.
A double kick takes both ladies down and both start a back and forth. Mickey goes with forearms, then axe handles. Mickey goes top but gets kicked off. Bliss goes for the twisted bliss but misses. Mickey with a missile drop kick for a 2. Crowd chants we want tables. Panicked, and then I actually generally thought they said we want Sable.
Christ.
I shit bricks. I thought no.
That's a bit rude of them though, isn't it? Requesting tables at a pay-per-view which is named after tables. Do you remember when they went through the era of table? TLC had a tables match, a ladder match, a chairs match, and then that stupid chair match was probably what ruined the gimmick, to be honest. But
no, the best one: tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs.
The stairs one was the one that ruined it.
Big Show versus Eric Rowan. Stairs match. And these stairs weigh 50, 60 grams.
No, it was like fucking Michael Cole said that the stairs weighed 300 pounds.
That's it. Solid steel, turns over, it's hollow as fuck.
They've always been hollow. In the history of wrestling, they have never once ever been fucking solid.
Solid steel. Oh no, it's ridiculous. Oh, here we go. Hello, recurring booking. Bliss uses the middle rope turnbuckle and a snap DDT to retain the title at 11:25. Who the fuck has a fetish for this like turnbuckle spot in women's wrestling matches?
I don't know, but it is a fetish.
Speaking of fetishes, guess what else we have in this match? An after-match interview with James. Is it Doc Hendricks? He's like, you're going to go out there and you're going to do an after-match.
By the way, the South won the Civil War.
Do.
Hail the Confederacy.
Long live the Confederacy.
Fucking
signed General. I was going to say General Cartman Lee.
No.
General. No, that's from that South.
I know.
Great episode.
Schmore flavoured schnapps.
Each flavoured schnapps. It's with James. She says she hopes it's not the end of her career and thanks the fans. And then we get an Angle and Shield promo. I really like Angle's retro shirt. It's actually one of the nicer ones the WWE has made. Angle says he didn't want the pair to go 5 against 2, but he was happy for them to go 5 against 3 originally. That makes tons of sense. Seth says he understands and offers a Shield jacket to Angle, which made me think, shit, is Angle not going to actually have his entrance, like his normal entrance, which would be awesome?
You know what? This whole thing, the fact that he did just go out with the Shield, tells me that obviously it has always been a plan for him to come back, and that they're saving the real, true comeback fight with his Olympic gear. He'll come out of the medal. He'll, all that stuff. I think that's being saved to WrestleMania. For whoever he fights, probably Triple H. That's just a guess. Yeah, and honestly, I don't think I've got nothing but praise for the fact that he's gone in there in 2 or 3 days' notice. He's clearly not prepared physically for it because he hasn't had time.
No, he's not 100%. I'd say he was about 60. He can take bumps, but you wouldn't risk him because he's nearly 50 and his neck is still absolutely
his neck
fucked.
is just one big solid piece these days, isn't it? Did he have it fused, or did he never have it fused?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, man. I know for a fact that he was due to have surgery back in 2004.
Well, isn't one of the reasons why he left WWE is because he refused the neck fusion surgery and just lived on painkillers for the next 10 years?
Yeah, exactly that. You're fucked when in 2006, where even Vince McMahon's like, pal, I think you need to give up the stuff. And he's like, okay, I'll do that. And it's like, sign a check with Dixie.
Yeah, also they were booking him like shit anyway, so.
Yeah, that's true. We get our second Elias gig. And I'm just saying to myself, can they please just have their fucking match at this point? Did you watch the following match? Enzo Amore against Kalisto for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship.
No.
Okay. First and foremost, Enzo has caught a virus. It sounds like he smoked 2 packs of cigarettes. And he still has to cut a promo.
2 minutes still, and he sounds like shit, right?
Yeah, he's like, I lost my voice. still cuts a decent promo. To be fair.
I think his promos are dog shit.
Compared to some of the other guys on this roster, he still managed to cut a decent promo. Let's go through this then. Match starts as a showcase of how much quicker and better Kalisto is. He mocks Enzo's dancing, as is tradition, with every person who faces him.
Kalisto can wrestle. I mean, yes. Regardless of what you think of him as a character, and he's had some pretty funny botches in the last year or two, but he can actually wrestle. So
yeah, exactly that. Which meant, him being champion, they've got a bit of credibility for it since Neville's now fucked off.
Yep.
Allegedly. Enzo uses the turnbuckle to get the advantage. Mostly does kicks, goes to the top rope, then comes down to get kicked in the face. What the fuck? There's a bad-looking low hurricanrana that earns a 2 when Enzo gets to the ropes. And then, oh fuck. Enzo uses the bottom turnbuckle, goes to the top for a DDG for a 2. Enzo tries to escape. Kalisto grabs him, but Enzo grabs the apron. An eye poke, followed by a Jordonzo, I think it is.
Yep.
Whatever it's called. Dirty pin for a 3 at 8:45. Enzo has an after-match promo thanking himself. This match was basic as fuck, and Enzo's reign of potential terror resumes.
Yeah, they're probably just going to troll Neville by having Enzo be champion for ages, right?
Well, he sells apparently a lot of merch, and he does get good viewership when he's on TV, so people are buying his shit. And again, from last episode, who are you?
Didn't James Ellsworth sell quite a lot of merch at one point?
Yeah, again, but maybe that was just novelty.
It was novelty, and this cunt's novelty as well. I fucking hate him.
But at least Ellsworth knew his place, I suppose. I mean, he took, they gave him like a fucking meter, and he took a mile. And I don't mean that derogatory. He literally, he did what he did to get on TV.
Yeah, fair play to him.
But Enzo, fuck, his matches aren't improving. He literally has promos, which most people are sick of at this point, and a very good finishing move. That's all he has.
They've given him and the Cruiserweights like the last segment on Raw quite a few times in the last few weeks. And I don't know, I've got a feeling it's more of a ploy in that they don't actually want to fill the last hour of Raw, which loses fucking viewing figures. Their viewing figures are like hour 3 compared to hour 1 is like over 1 million less people.
I was literally going to say, I think most people get burned out by the show, and hour 2 is peak. So hour 3, that's why you don't get the angles. Well, you sometimes do, but most...
In the last month or so, they've been doing all of the big matches like hour 2, and it's been, And then they give like kind of Enzo ending Raw and stuff, and it gives those people that don't care about 205 Live, which is a lot of people, the opportunity to switch off, which they obviously do.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wins, except the 205 Live roster. I take it you watched the following match, which is Bullet Club reunion.
Well, it's not a reunion because they were never in the Bullet Club at the same time.
That's a point.
But it's more of a Bullet Club kind of, just what's the word? What is it when you become like American universities when you you're on the honor roll? It's like the Bullet Club honor roll. So you get to meet people. This is what this is.
Did you notice Cole mentions at the very start that both of them led the same faction, but he doesn't actually mention it by name?
These two men both made their name. He also said they made their name in Japan, which I thought was quite funny for AJ. These two men both honed their craft in Japan. They both led the same faction.
But then Corey's like, Bullet Club.
Did Corey actually say the Bullet Club?
I think he did. He either said club or Bullet Club.
Well, they don't actually usually have an issue with saying stuff about New Japan because, there was that time when JBL used to go, he's the former IWGP champion, MAGA.
Greatest IWGP heavyweight champion of all time.
Yeah.
Never won the belt.
He did win the belt. He just got it wrong when he said who he won it off.
Oh, did he? Sorry, I thought he was only Intercontinental champion ever.
No, he was really, really young when he won his first title. He had like a weird MMA shooter gimmick.
I take it back. JBL is right. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Finish reading that book I gave you.
Oh yeah, well, sorry, JR's new book is out as well.
Oh, good.
I know, but I'd like to read it. Anyway, do you want? Have you got notes for this match? I'm sure our audience is sick to death of me at this point.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it or should I do it?
I haven't got many notes because, as I had said to you earlier, this match was good, but I didn't think it was match of the year quality like some people were suggesting.
You mean the WWE is suggesting?
Well, yeah, but it was good. I just, there's. I don't know about you or other people, but I quite like a build, and this has got nothing to do with AJ or Finn because it's not their fault. But I like a build. Not saying I like the build towards Finn and Bray and Drag, but whatever. There's no build. It was kind of billed as a kind of
dream match.
Is it a dream match? Maybe it's a dream match. My dream for these two would be that they form some kind of fucking faction that's like the Bullet Club in the WWE, because I still think that's where it should land. I think that's what they were going to do. I still think that if Finn didn't get injured, I think that the teases towards that were probably leading to something. I do think that had he not got injured, they would have done some kind of club thing.
I don't know, man. I think Vincey would have just gone like, the audience expects it. Let's not do that.
Those pops they used to get for...
Oh, no. Fucking SummerSlam. Gallows and Anderson are there and they meet up AJ for the first time in like 3 months. Like, hey, man, how you doing? Yeah, well, good. And then Finn comes in and it's like... And it's like, see you later, fellas. That's it.
But I suppose it was a dream match. They got a lot of too sweet chants. Too sweet. Too sweet. Same chants that the Young Bucks get in every building they go to.
Do you think that drives Vince mad, or is he kind of...
I'm going to guess that he only became aware of it after he was made aware of the Being the Elite Invasion of Raw video. He watched it, or he had it summarised for him, and that's what pissed him off. But then...
50 guys trying to invade Raw, Vince! Jimmy Jacobs, you're fired!
But that's the thing, Meltzer says it, and I don't think he's bothered by it, but he's probably bothered by the fact that they majorly highlighted that the Raw was papered.
Yes, just exactly what he did with... Actually, tell a lie. He said the exact same thing during the DX invasion, but WCW wasn't papered.
Yeah.
They actually went out of their way to put a Photoshop edit of a fucking sign saying WCW Monday Nitro, still for sale. Like, how fucking pathetic. Anyway.
Yeah, so I thought this was a fine match. It was good, entertaining. They're clearly great workers, and I'm one of the people that still thinks that AJ is possibly the best worker in the world.
Oh, can you imagine if you got that WWE title again and SmackDown gets saved? Please, for fuck. I mean, Vince obviously loves AJ. I mean, we've heard all the stories where it's like they both share similar backgrounds. He really respects him. He sells a shitload of merch, which is the most important thing to Vince. So, and he's a Bible basher, so...
and a flat earther.
And a flat earther. Do you think he's just taking the piss? Like, I mean, Daniel kind of said it. I really hope so. I fucking hope he's just trolling.
No, I think that was David. I think that was Daniel Bryan both trolling and highlighting a fact.
Oh, AJ. You're a fantastic wrestler, but for fuck's sake, man, the earth is round.
Oh, well, there's a lot of interesting facts about it.
If the earth is round, why does the sun disappear from the edge of it?
Oh, God.
Don't know. What was I going to say?
Oh, yeah, just going to add that Meltzer's getting a lot of shit on Twitter at the moment because obviously he's a massive PWG mark because he's from that part of the world where they are in, is it Reseda, California, or something like that?
They do great matches.
They do, but I don't. The stuff I've watched of theirs is pretty great, but there's no. They don't really do storylines and stuff because they kind of just do. Don't they just do like an event every 3 or 4 months? But then, to be fair, they do like the Battle of Los Angeles over a weekend, which is amazing.
Yeah, they do matches, but they don't do the razzmatazz.
No, they just if the whole point of it is that come here to watch great matches, then that's great. if you like storylines and build and stuff, then maybe not. But then again, I haven't watched enough of it to really judge. But anyway, he's a massive mark for it, as he is for New Japan. But then again, I'm a huge mark for New Japan, and he must know that people, for some reason, even though they slag him off, they still take his word as gospel. And
I was literally about to say word of God.
It's like it's almost as if people love oh no, Meltzer's a mark, man, I don't like him. But if he says something they disagree with, it's like, oh my god, it's just really quite odd. But yeah, he
what did he give?
He gave it 4.25. But he also said that having seen like a weekend of PWG matches, he's like, oh, it's not even in the top 10 matches I've seen this weekend, and it just fucking absolutely worked the marks on Twitter. It was so funny.
He's smart though, Dave. To be fair, because he'll say something and it'll be, I mean, it's not even controversial. It's his opinion, but it's like, oh my god, Dave Meltzer said this. Oh, you can only read about it in his newsletter.
It's when he gets salty and he responds to people that I always find entertaining.
He is one of the best Twitter things ever. Dave Meltzer basically talking down. No, when he talks down to fucking.
What you mentioned a minute ago.
Oh, what
He'll go. Cena was the best draw, and then someone goes, "You might want to back that up, Dave." And he'll go, "I did back it up in this Observer issue. So why don't you give me $10.99 a month?" But for $10.99 a month, you also get to hear the inane ramblings of Brian Alvarez when he does podcasts based on they do the podcast based on 9 or 10 years ago, when they review stuff from the 80s, and they do the review of Raw and Nitro from 9-10 years ago. Then they also
Brian and Vinny, you mean?
Yeah, or whatever. And then they also do the fucking reviews from NWA in 80s and shit. And it's like people apparently on their boards and stuff just go, why don't you try and put kind of indie promotions over and review like British indie wrestling on the demand services? No, we're gonna watch NWA 1983 because we've already watched it already, so we're gonna watch it again. It's like, oh, okay. Listen to Brian and Vinny review a Raw from 1997 that Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez reviewed 15 years ago. Really weird. I didn't
realise this episode was going to be, let's slag off.
I'm not. I love Dave Meltzer, but I'm being honest, Brian Alvarez is really fucking annoys me. And oh my god.
How's it going, everybody? Brian Alvarez here with Reese. Say hello, Reese.
-5 stars. He's like, you know what? I don't know what it is.
You've just slagged him off. Don't you do a heel turn.
I'm not. I quite respect the fact that he was a wrestler and stuff, but I just listen to him and it's like, shut up. Let Dave Meltzer talk. And Meltzer's not perfect. And it's just like, and then the kind of stuff when he goes like, it's awful. And Meltzer goes, well, it wasn't that bad. And he goes, oh, no, it wasn't that bad. It's like, fucking hell. Anyway, weren't we talking about a supposed match of the year dream match?
Yeah, sorry. This is going to get edited, obviously.
No, I might move it to the end. Anyway. Or not. I'll just keep it unedited. Whatever.
Anyway, dream match. The WWE's obviously pushing this now as the match of the year candidate, and to be brutally honest, as I've mentioned to you privately, this is probably not even a match of the year candidate from the WWE. We've obviously got Dunn and Bate earlier in the year. I still stand by the Elimination Chamber match, which Bray won the title. I thought that was great. Well, swings and roundabouts.
Well, at the time it was great. In hindsight, it was terrible.
Well, we were not to know that there'd be a House of Horrors and the fucking whatever they called that WrestleMania match. And then obviously you got Cena Styles at the start of the year. There's been loads of great matches this year, WWE. I thought it was an excellent match. It really should have had a bit more time, to be honest. This is a match where you could have cut down the first match, Asuka and Emma, to 5 minutes and then cut down a bit more. Give this 25, maybe even 30 minutes.
I don't think 30 minutes. A bit more, again, it didn't really push my buttons. I think after when it got to the end, I was like, yeah, that's good. That'll do. That's enough.
I just thought it was really well executed, and it kept Finn strong. All
considering the circumstances which led to this match, then yeah, it did do great.
This was, yeah, no offense to, I mean, I've been a fan of Bray and Finn's previous matches, and I know I'm in the fucking minority for it, but this was a miles better conclusion to what we were heading for.
One question: are you disappointed that we didn't see Bray Wyatt in drag?
No,
I'm disappointed because I wanted to see just how fucked up it was going to be.
I think he would have just worn a veil or something and had like white paint on or some shit.
I think he would have had a dress on. I think he would have been fully dressed and he would have had makeup on, and I think he would have been like really weird. I actually think would have probably been quite fun.
I think it would be a death knell.
Well,
I think it'd be like
one person's fun is another person's death knell, but yeah.
I just think wrestling is the least sensitive fucking place on earth. They've tried doing cross-dressing before. They did Vito in a fucking dress.
Well, WWE isn't as bad as other wrestling. I mean, fucking hell. Like when you see old footage of really homophobic TNA, imagine that this going on there.
That was 15 years ago, man. I just don't have the confidence in the WWE to be pushing storylines. And at the end of the day, this is the gimmick is Bray is a supernatural entity. He has some sort of convoluted, very bizarre backstory that involves family, and he can somehow channel the power of his something.
Well, was she not just a nun that looked after him as a kid in an orphanage?
I don't know. It's like The Undertaker and Kane. The backstory.
Her name's Sister Abigail. She's a nun.
I thought it was his actual sister.
No, she's Sister Abigail. Someone with the name Sister is a nun.
I thought he was just referring to her formally.
And I'm pretty certain the one bit of him in drag was a bit nunny.
Actually, with a veil, oh no, that'd be bridal. I don't know, man. I don't have the confidence in the writing team to do any justice to this sort of story.
No, fair point. And it'll happen though. We will get it.
This is where Cornette and Russo in '98, where they're booking Undertaker and Kane, they knew what the fuck they were doing with that storyline. They had all the razzmatazz, the fucking lightning bolts, and Paul Bearer shrieking, "Dead man!" and all that other stuff. But no, I thought this was a good match. We've spent 20 minutes going on a tangent, but I thought this was an excellent match and the best case scenario for this. I take it you didn't see Elias set number 3?
I saw a bit of this, but you know what made me turn it off and skip to the TLC match? Just Jason Jordan's entrance and his face mannerisms. I just can't. I just find him so forced and shit. I can't do it.
I'll go through it then. So our piss break segment is Elias versus Jason Jordan, as if it weren't fucking obvious enough. We get a slow, grapply start. Elias with the longest arm lock in the universe. Elias with a knee to the back sends Jordan to the middle buckle. Story of this match is the commentators. Booker no sells Jordan's heritage. Again, Corey and Cole tried to save the storyline. Booker, I love you, but holy shit. Either Vince is chewing you up or it's a rib to get Corey and Cole to lose their minds over it. Jordan wins with a roll-up, although Elias had his shoulder up. It's a nothing match, an obvious piss break if there ever was one. It lasted 8 minutes and 50 seconds, so plenty of time for people to grab a drink or squeeze out a slash.
Good point.
Yeah. Main event, Reese. We got there.
The Shield plus Kurt Angle vs The Miz, The Bear, Kane, for some fucking reason, and Braun Strowman. Again, for some reason.
Future mayor of wherever.
Is it like Arkansas or something?
I don't know. Do you know about Kane or Glenn Jacobs and his politics?
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
He does quite a lot of. His Twitter account is basically just him canvassing now.
Yeah, with he's like the world's tallest man in the world's smallest car in the Simpsons.
Yeah.
Did you know my? Come on, you do it.
Are you laughing because of my automobile?
I guess so.
What?
This was the only vehicle I could buy on my salary.
Hey everybody! It's the kid who laughs at everybody. Let's laugh at him.
I hope because I love Glenn Jacobs. I think he's one of the most enduring guys on that entire roster, and I love
the man and the legend, and I like. You know what? Career-wise, he had a lot of turd sandwiches thrown his way, and then when he got his gimmick that worked, he fucking worked it. And I've got a lot of great memories as a child watching Kane and being.
Yeah, Kane's the reason why. Kane's the Undertaker's feud is the reason why I watched wrestling in '98. He
Yeah,
scared the absolute shit out of me. We'll get into him one day.
yeah,
But
sure. But
that was 21 years ago, or 20 years ago.
And I don't seriously the Kane gimmick these days I just find so hard to watch and off-putting. And this is not against him, really. It's just against the forcing of Kane. And it's been going on for like 2 years, 3 years now. You know, Daniel Bryan wins the world title after this long, massive feud with the Authority and Triple H. And then it's like, right, first feud, Kane's back. Oh, okay, great.
To be fair, Team Hell No, so there was method in the madness.
Team Hell No ended at a great time because Kane was just shit, you know. And Daniel Bryan went on to much better things as singles, and then but it's not so much. It wasn't so much that it was Kane; it was that Kane's all of a sudden this really feared monster now, and it's like, well, no, he's not.
You've spent the last year and a half telling us that he's this corporate schlack.
Yeah. Also, why is he wearing a fucking mask which has got a wig attached to it?
I don't know.
I don't get it. The mask is terrible. You know for a fact that if he walks out right wearing a retro, original style Kane mask, people will pop for it.
Yeah, but he can't breathe in that, man. That's the whole reason they changed the mask in the first place. All you have to do is just have him dress up like he did in 2003. No mask, but have the singlet. And no wig.
You mean Uncle Fester Kane?
Yeah, well, that's...
I didn't mind it.
People still have the stories. No, see, well, it's better than Wiggy Kane with the current mask.
He regrew his vocal cords.
Oh, that's not... Well, maybe one day we'll go through Kane's entire story.
That would actually be a good thing to cover.
Madness. Also, WWE, no pyro for Kane, you cheap cunts.
No pyro for anyone.
No, but Kane, his entrance is fucking pyro. His whole thing is, he gets one little thing that goes when he comes out, and then he goes into the ring, lifts his arms up, and then all the turnbuckles go up, and everyone's like, fuck, that's hot. No, just walks around.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cheap fuckers.
So, yeah, this match... Oh, yeah, well, you've got to mention the Shield's entrance, so, you know...
Oh, God. You suck! You suck! You suck!
Didn't you think he looked so awkward when he came out with his little smile?
Whoever came up with that fucking image where it's like when your dad wants to play Call of Duty with you. Thumbs up to you, sir. 10 out of 10. That is exactly what this is. Why couldn't Shield come out first? And again, I know you've said it. Fucking save his entrance.
They're saving his entrance for.
I just want to fucking see it.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. How long's this match? It's about 35 minutes, isn't it?
35, yeah.
What did you think of this match?
I thought it was probably rebooked massively because of Roman not being able to make it.
Is that because Angle has to go absent for quite a long time?
I think he probably isn't enough. He's obviously not prepared for this match, so he probably needed to take a breather. Yeah, fair fucks again. Yeah, I think it was really long, lots of kind of odd spots where everyone's standing around doing nothing. But like that bit, there's like a couple minute spot when all five of them are standing over Rollins and Ambrose, and they're kind of all taking the piss, and it's just like, finish it, fucking finish the match.
No, pin him. You ain't got anything to grab. Fucking just go.
I thought it was entertaining. That I will say that I didn't think it was silly. I thought it was a bit silly. I thought it was entertaining. I think the whole 5-on-3 thing is stupid, in my opinion, and I think certain people come out of it looking pretty shit. Braun, the thing with Braun and the trash compactor, I'm very confused about.
See, I thought this whole match was it's an overwrought, clustered mess.
It was a mess. No, I agree. I thought it was a fun mess in most parts, but...
And I felt like they were trying to do so many things in this match when all they really should have done was they should have told one story, which is Angle's return, and they need to persevere in this match. But instead you've got right, okay, fuck that. The 5 guys that they're facing are going to basically smash the shit out of them for quite a large portion of it. And then you've got the Kane and Braun dissension in the ranks, which then leads to another segment where the Miz is goes like fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on fucking Braun and dumps in the back of a garbage truck and goes like, close him down. And I'm like, he's gonna be fine. He's fine.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they did. The Crusher came on, and the fucking bit there was, the guy, the trash man was standing there.
Trash man.
Well, whatever he must have been. He was the driver of a trash van.
I'm surprised I think he lost him because he can drive anything.
He just stands there and presses the button, so he's complicit. He's part of it, isn't he?
It would have made sense if Miz dragged him out. Again, this is putting way too much fucking fault in a segment which involved 4 guys throwing.
It was pretty funny because obviously Kane did the whole no selling of emotion. The Bar kind of high-fived and was like, "Yeah, we killed a man," and the Miz was kind of like, "Oh shit, I've lost the man. Oh, but don't worry, I've still got a 2-man advantage." And it was like, okay, cool. Angle returned. Well, it's just the start. Angle, they started the match off hot. They smashed them with chairs. So Angle just did a lot of chair spots. In fact, he didn't really do any real wrestling until his comeback. Although he did do the suplex spots, which I thought was quite good.
No, again, I think people expecting him to wrestle 35 minutes and it be the old Angle.
I certainly didn't. I'm telling you now, having watched some of his indie stuff as recent as last year, he can go. He can't go in very. He can go in 10, maybe 12, 15-minute max matches in terms of oldish nostalgia-y, but still slowly and slightly stiffer Angle.
Taker
a bit. Sometimes Taker can still go though. There's some matches Taker's done the last 3 years where you think, oh, you can still do it, boy. But yeah, I think he just it wasn't prepared. He done his suplex spots, hit people with chairs for a lot of the time, got running power slammed, taken out of the match, came back 5 minutes to go. I think he did 2 or 3 angle slams, one through a table on Cesaro. Run wild. There was one thing in this match that was massively overdone, and it was the "we're on the apron surrounding you" spot.
Oh God! And is this the one with the very end with Miz? And it's
no, they did it when when the Shield entered the ring. They did it to the 5 men in there, and I was just sitting there going, "There's fucking 5 of you. Why are you standing there waiting for them to attack you? Just fucking jump them." The Miz, I can't remember which 3 of them did it, but I think it was Kane, Braun, and the Miz did it to the Shield, or did it to Angle, and then they did it to the Miz at the end. 3 times this same spot happened in the match.
Obviously, someone had to get out of their system, even though each time it's all 3 are surrounding him. It's he's got a fucking side completely free. He can run through. In fact, he can run up the ramp if he needs to. They'd never catch him. I was going to say as well, Japanese table spot.
Have you seen the thing that one of the German commentators
French Je me crée no table.
I am the table. Well, there's 2 Botchamania references here. There is the fact. Well, one of them was actually done by the commentator. So he's apparently shouted, "I am the table" when that happened. Afterwards, did you see Dean corpsing so badly?
Yeah.
So much. He was laughing so much that Sheamus and Cesaro even laughed a little bit.
Oh, and Cesaro just shrugging his shoulders going,
yeah.
"Oh, fuck."
And any time it happens, I always just get the "send for the man." And then they obviously chuck him through the table again. But that was quite a good little moment.
It still didn't break properly second time. It only kind of collapsed a little bit. It didn't break into split down the middle. Fucking typical of this.
Yeah, also I think this is easily answerable, but it's still odd. Why was there a garbage truck?
To get rid of Braun. And it looks cool. It looks cool. I've listened to enough Bruce Pritchard, and the answer is the writers think it looks good. That is the easiest explanation.
I think Corey saved it a bit because he did say, earlier on, the Miz did say he was going to treat the Shield like garbage. So I think that was the reason for it. But it's Why? Why is it? Why is it there? It's just a weird. It just seems as though it was a weird way to waste 10 minutes.
I know. Again, it's just going back to my earlier point. This match felt just clustered with different storylines going into it when it could have just been like simplified and it would have been much more like had better pace to it. This match didn't have to be 35 minutes long. It could have been done in maybe even 15, I dare say.
Mm.
And the sad part is, I mean, the truck spot is just purely to build up towards Kane and Braun.
Well, that's obviously apparently that's Survivor Series, yeah.
Oh Christ! And there's just bits. It's just the other funny thing is, again, going back to Booker's commentary, where he spends the entire match like ragging on Angle and especially Angle, and the Shield as well, where it's like they knew what they were getting into when they got into this match, and he put himself into it when someone else could have gone. They win, and then he plays troll and goes like, "I knew they could do it," and Cole just loses his fucking mind. Like, you said the entire time.
Fucking awful comment. He makes Cole seem good.
I know, it was like fucking old Bizarro world. Cole is logical and is actually, slagging off Booker's terrible commentary.
Yeah, insane Booker commentary.
This one for Matthew.
Mm.
Send us our check in the mail. But I thought it was rubbish. I thought it was rubbish.
Yep. So Braun's dead. Angle returns, runs wild. They corner the Miz. Oh well, he did a very close fucking 2 3/4 count when he was skull crushing finale, shall I say?
Oh god, I forgot, dude, I forgot. Crowd chant USA to Miz and Angle.
Well, yeah. Where's the Miz from?
Well, currently Hollywood, California. Originally, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's
somewhere in America.
I'm pretty sure he's American, yeah. Although,
and they try and cover it and say like they're chanting for an Angle here with the USA chants. It's like, oh my fucking Christ!
his incredibly attractive wife is Canadian, though, I do believe.
Who, Maurice?
Yeah, she's thingy. She's what's her name?
French Canadian, isn't she?
That's right. She's from Quebec, Canada.
It's funny enough, I'm going through 2006 pay-per-views and it's Diva Search, and you can tell the first time they meet each other, and it's so fucking hilarious in hindsight.
Yeah, he's a fucking lucky git.
It's also, if you ever go back and watch Miz's very early stuff, and the poor guy is like, I mean, he's come so far in 11 years, where he's like, he's the most credible, one of the most credible talkers on the roster, and he plays it safe in the ring. But back then, he's like, "Hi guys, it's Mike Mizanin, aka The Miz. I'm here with the WWE. Oh, what am I doing? It's like, God, you're not even going to last 2 minutes. And lo and behold, 11 years later, he's fucking one of the most credible guys on the whole roster.
Well, I'm a fan.
So fair fucks to him. Yeah, no, same here. Give him the fucking title. There's so many people in this match who could do with that Universal title, other than the hometown hero Brock, who is in absentia.
Yeah, just to round the match off, they beat up the Miz, do the triple power bomb. Basically, Angle just does his best Roman Reigns impression to end this match, and yeah, 3-man triple power bomb, another sexy pin. Angle pins the Miz for the win, and yeah, there you go, we're done.
What did you think of TLC on the whole?
Well, based on the matches I watched and from what I've heard of your review, it sounds like it was okay, and they probably did a good job saving the pay-per-view after the illness issues they've got. It doesn't sound like it's the best pay-per-view ever, but, we'll see how things turn out after this. We're slowly but surely getting to the biggest season in pro wrestling, so the Royal Rumble and Road to WrestleMania is not that far off, really.
There was an advert for WrestleMania on this show as well.
Was it November 17th they put tickets on? Fancy a trip to New Orleans?
If you're paying for every single bit of it.
Probably not.
No.
I reckon let's wait a couple of years until we're a bit older, yeah. Our children are bigger, and we could probably sneak to the east. We can probably get to an East Coast WrestleMania, which is only a 6-hour flight. We can do that. I'll tell you what, if they do one in Toronto or New York, we'll try and go to them.
I was just going to say, if they do one in London...
Well, London should get a WrestleMania, but it never will, so we just need to stop beating that dead horse.
Yeah, I know. Never going to fucking happen. Damn it, they'll never pay. Be on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the US. Can't have that.
Well, the UFC did put on a pay-per-view and live event at 3 a.m. in Manchester with Bisping and Dan Henderson, and it sold out in the arena. And you got to imagine that the only thing they'd worry about is the house if they was to put it on late, and it wouldn't be 3 a.m. Remember, it'd be on it'd start at like 11 p.m.
But they'd be adamant they'd have to sell out fucking Wembley. Or
I reckon if they did it, they would do it. Remember, London isn't just England. London is basically a 2-hour flight from pretty much the whole. Well, 3/4 of Europe is a 2 to 2.5 hour, 3-hour flight, and even places like Russia is a 4-hour flight, and that's a lot of people. And I don't think it's impossible for them to do that, but I don't think they would do it.
No, I don't think they're ever going to do it. There's too many logistics, and the main one is that their pay-per-view or network audience wouldn't allow it. This is what happened with SummerSlam 92.
Even though it's one of their biggest gates ever still to date, and money-wise.
It is, but they didn't get their pay-per-view money. Because it was on
tape delay.
It was tape delay. That's it. And especially now in this day and age, where you can just read up the results, it's like, oh, Jinder Mahal beat John Cena.
Yeah, true. Christ, imagine if that happened.
Oh.
Yeah. So 2 events there. There you go. We're up to speed. When's the next one? Tell me it's a long ways away.
It's Survivor Series in next month. There's no other show in November, as far as I'm aware.
I think it's only like 3 weeks away.
It is now because they've had a week of build towards it. Although Survivor Series are...
And the story so far is Invasion.
No, Under Siege. Everyone's favourite Steven Seagal.
Invasion of the Boring.
Oh God. No, it's it's Blinket.
Oh my God!
Raw versus SmackDown.
You know Wade Keller.
Yes.
The other not as famous as Dave Meltzer.
This is the third brother.
He basically tweeted to Dolph Ziggler just moaning like a fucking mark, saying, "Oh, on SmackDown and at TLC and at Hell in a Cell, you were wrestling Bobby Roode and you don't like each other, but on Raw you were fighting next to each other. What are you doing? It doesn't make any sense." And Ziggler tries to explain something to him. And I'm not saying Ziggler made a lot of sense, but it was kind of like, dude, we're not high-fiving each other or hugging. We're just on a shared mission in this thing. And he's like, oh, but why have you turned all of the heels? Oh my God. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. It's wrestling. Oh, it really...
Wrestling fake.
Just like...
Don't tweet wrestlers.
Oh, I don't get it.
Don't talk to wrestlers.
I don't think you can tweet a wrestler and say, what you're doing is wrong. I don't like it. Because, what do you know?
You're perpetually ridiculed on the fucking internet. Especially by Dolph. I mean, no offence. I mean, I know he doesn't give a fuck, but obviously he's got enough wit with him. Similar to Owens, where he'll just run fucking circles around
Owens
people.
Basically rips the shit out of people in quite a nice PG way most of the time. Absolutely daily. He absolutely ruins people. And I fucking love him for it.
I know. Because the WWE has this weird thing with Twitter where it's like, it's got to be in kayfabe, but you can't go too far. And it's like, you've got to find that nice balance, and at least he has, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then you got other guys where like Eric Young, who's like, he plays like, I'm insanity and I'm crazy, and it's like on Twitter, it's like, oh man, did anyone catch the game?
Yeah. Have you seen Braun Strowman's Instagram?
No, I've seen his Tinder.
Has he got a Tinder? Oh Christ. His Instagram is completely his real life. I can't remember what his name is, but it's his bio says, I play a character in the WWE. And there's so many marks who think it's like a slap in the face of kayfabe, and at the end of the day, it comes down to this man just wants to. This human being wants to share photos, and I don't care how old you are. I don't care if it's still real to you. Damn it, he can do what the fuck he wants. It's just so strange.
It's a fucking Twitter account, man. Let him just fucking tweet. Again, wrestling's not real, folks.
It's really weird.
They don't. The characters that they play on screen are probably wildly exaggerated versions or complete fiction to what they are in real life.
Certainly.
Minus possibly Triple H.
And probably Bruce Hart.
Bruce.
Wait, is it Bruce Hart who's the weird one who always tries to get himself over?
Yes, it is Bruce.
Yeah.
He's the one who, I think he's the one who kicked or he hit Vince in real.
Oh yeah,
in the Hart and McMahon match.
I saw the Hart House last week. No Hart lives in it anymore, but I did see it.
It's sold on, isn't it?
I saw the building in which the dungeon exists, and yeah, it was quite cool.
Did you hear Stuart's ghost?
Oh my god! In what is it? What's the documentary? Wrestling with Shadows. I've never seen someone that gets so much pleasure from hurting young men.
Strapping young men get stretched to the old man's dungeon.
There's probably a serial killer joke in there somewhere, like Jeffrey Dahmer joke. But anyway, I digress. And that brings an end to this episode, the 9th episode of Smarks About Attitude.
It actually brings us to a strange segue as well, because we have got heart-related shenanigans coming up.
We're going to embark on our Montreal Screwjob themed episode, because part of the whole point of doing this podcast was the fact that we wanted to do kind of nostalgic look backs at big moments in wrestling. We did the Chris Benoit episode, which did quite well actually. I mean, we don't strive and push for listens, but that one just organically got quite a lot of listens, and you know, it was quite an interesting thing, and I think it was an interesting subject at that time. I think this is a very interesting subject to deal with as well.
I think with retrospect as well, with the Benoit episode, it was a deeply uncomfortable scenario, and it was only when you were actually talking about it, you're like, holy shit, this is really dark, and you can tell with bits in the thing where I repeat the same thing over and over again. We can play your drinking game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and obviously the Montreal Screwjob isn't as dark. Maybe for the history of wrestling it's a dark moment, or maybe not, because there are conspiracy theories which we will tackle. Yeah, Montreal Screwjob, 20 years ago. So we're going to do that very soon. That'll be episode 10. And
yes, it will.
We'll do like the build up to the Screwjob, after the Screwjob, and stuff like that. And that will be coming up. And then obviously Survivor Series 2017 is on our radar too. And
SmackDown versus Raw, no one cares.
Yeah, actually,
we've got War Games.
NXT War Games. Actually, that should be fun. Actually,
yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, probably Cody Rhodes will set fire to the building.
Oh no, didn't he say he was alright?
He did, but then they've just cut like a kayfabe promo for Ring of Honor where they're stealing my dad's ideas again. It's like, well, he's obviously said in a personal statement that he doesn't mind. And I think they did run it by him. Anyway, yes, so episode 9, thank you very much for listening. As always, you can listen to our stuff on iTunes. You can just give us a search on there. Apple Podcast app, Smarks for Attitude. You can find the latest episodes there. SoundCloud.com/Smarks for Attitude, also where we have our episodes. We're on YouTube if you just give us a search. And if you're on Twitter, you could give us a listen if you like. You can find me at Reese_59, and you can find Harry where?
It's Retcon_Nation.
There. And yeah, and also SWA_podcast, but that's a barren wasteland of a Twitter account. But you know,
to be fair, follow all three. We are quite witty.
We try to be. Yeah, and that's a wrap, folks. Thank you very much. Say goodbye, Harry.
Goodbye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, and toodaloo.
Bye-bye.